Hooty hoo! Hooty hoo! Y'all remember when hooty hoo was the call? When that's how you would identify yourself? Hooty hoo! Hey y'all. Good morning, people. How we doing? I left y'all on while the platformers were saying hey to everybody, and I went to go get me a cup of coffee. Y'all see my coffee cup? Sell high, buy low. That's what we do. Sell high, buy low. We are option sellers. Option sellers. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Michael. How we doing this morning? Getting some coffee. I do like half decaf, half regular. Supposed to do all decaf because coffee is it's dehydrating. Supposed to be doing a lot more water than coffee. But you know how it goes. You know how it goes. Even though I don't drink coffee for the caffeine piece of it, because caffeine doesn't affect me like it does a lot of people. Caffeine does not like wake me up and get me moving. Caffeine doesn't do that for me. So I don't drink coffee for that. No way. Hey, Janae, missed you last night. We had a really good call. You have to watch the replay. I talked a little bit about the IWM 1 DTE trade to do at the end of the day, like at 4:00. You got to watch that. It's at the end of the video. I don't think I gave everybody the link. I got to make sure I do that. I think I went to bed. I did. I forgot all about doing that. I have to make sure I put that recording up so that way everybody can watch it. I'll make sure to do that. So yeah. Good morning, everybody. Morning. Tanya was on the call watching the football game. Her husband screaming in the background, or at least she said he was. I didn't hear any screaming. Tanya said, I need my cup dark roast. Yes. Now, I usually put so much creamer in mine, you can't even tell that it's coffee necessarily. So when I lived in Guatemala is a coffee place. The Arabica beans are grown there. We went to the fincas. And when we lived in Guatemala, that's a place where the coffee originates. So if you go there to my putting some creamer in a coffee, they look at you like you retarded. Like, what? What are you doing? You're putting creamer in that ruins the coffee, which I happen to agree. When you're in a place where you get good coffee, creamer will ruin it. So drinking coffee in Guatemala, you don't add creamer to it. And when you go to the grocery store, the creamer section in the grocery store in Guatemala is like this big because creamer is not something that you do to your coffee. I got y'all. I got the replay. I forgot all about putting it up. Probably because after we were done, I was tired. So I went ahead. My glasses is not glasses in the morning. I went and watched the rest of Ruth and Boaz on Netflix. If you haven't watched that, you should go and watch it on Netflix. It was good. Tanya said her husband was cussing and fussing. Yeah, we watched the movie. We watched Ruth and Boaz on Netflix. It was really good. It was really good for a Tyler Perry involved movie. I like the cinematography. I like the casting. I like the acting. I like the costumes. Usually they have, the costumes be janky. I liked the wardrobe. I liked all of it. I liked the acting. It didn't feel forced and contrived. It was good. It was good. It was good. So you should go watch it. Ruth and Boaz. Let's go to see what the day. You said we're watching SPX 500. SPX 500 is currently at 66.77, trying to make its move back up to 6,700. It closed on Friday. SPX closed on Friday at what, 43 or something like that? Yeah, 43, 66.43 is where it closed. So it's up about 30 points from Friday. So a gap up opening is possible. Hey, Nori. A gap up opening is possible. Okay, it's possible. Let's go see what Yahoo Finance is. Where's the VIX? Where's my VIX? Let's go there because the VIX didn't pop up this morning. I need to see the VIX first, see where we at with the volatility. 1591 is where the VIX is this morning. 15.91. We like the VIX above 15. Gives us enough volatility to make our selling worthwhile. Otherwise, our premiums don't be like we like them. So 1591 is a good space for that. All right. While a shutdown may actually matter this time around. Yeah, it matters every time, but it matters this time too, right? The possibility of the Fed having to set policy without fresh data underscores how risky a standoff could be. U.S. stock futures rise as shutdown risk rivets Wall Street. Moran is making a risky bet on Trump. Others at the Fed believe tariffs. Trump's $900 billion demands meet Japan, South Korea pushback. Goldman turns bullish on global stocks. Cannabis stocks surge after Trump flags CBD for healthcare. People been on that CBD for healthcare. It's finally good that somebody's on it. Finally got a positive. It's been a while. I think CBD was really getting its push all before COVID came. It was really kind of pushing before COVID came along. Cannabis was pushing really well before COVID came along. COVID came along and stole all the attention, and then cannabis moved out of the limelight. And then, all the stuff went to that. And then now CBD has come back into or I think it's coming back into the forefront because folks was all over it before. Definitely. Taiwan must relocate a chunk of chip making to the U.S. Yeah. Okay. Moving on from there. Okay. There's good on that. CNBC. Dow futures are up 173. S&P futures up 32. NASDAQ futures up 160. Oil and U.S. 10-year bonds are red this morning. Let's see what's written down here. Trump threatens mass firings of federal workers if the shutdown isn't averted. That was yesterday's news. We saw it on yesterday. I'm going to say yesterday's news. EA shareholders will get $210 per share to take the company private. Aye, interesting. Europe, mostly green. The DAX and the FTSE Milano are red. European stocks edge higher. Lufthansa plans to cut 4,000 jobs. Lufthansa is the airline people. In Asia, Hang Seng, Shanghai, and ASX are green. The Nikkei and Nifty 50 are red. Sony Financial Group shares jump 15% in trading debut as Asian markets mostly rise. Let's look at crypto. Bitcoin is up to 112. Last night when we looked at it, it was down to 110,000. Ethereum 4107, Solana 206, Dogecoin is 0.2307, XRP 286. Breaking news, Comcast names Mike Cavanaugh as co-CEO. How do you have a co-CEO? How do you get two people at the helm? A monster with two heads, a thing with two heads is a monster. Yeah, co-CEO. That sounds like that could be a recipe for some problems. Unless one CEO is on the way out and the other one's coming alongside just to train while the other one phases out. I don't know enough about Comcast to comment from that standpoint, but today we've got Waller spoke this morning from FOMC, and Hammock spoke at 8. At 10 o'clock, we've got pending home sales, 115. There we go. This wasn't on here last night. This was not here last night. President Trump will speak at 1:15. And I don't know why they got an orange folder here. We all know that is a red folder moment. Okay. Forex need to quit playing. We already know that if Trump's going to speak, this is not going to be no orange folder. Musalem will speak at 1:30. Musalem and Williams, and then 6 o'clock Bostic will speak at 1:30. At 6 o'clock. Trump at 1:15. Ding, ding, ding. This is probably a red folder. I'm not sure why Forex Factory is playing, because they know that ain't hardly orange. Ain't hardly. This is, Ebonics version. That ain't hardly orange. Orange. I got to say orange because, Anyway, looking at investing.com, pending home sales is at 10 o'clock, 3-month bill auction 11:30, 6-month 11:30, 1:15. See, investing.com knows what the deal is. 3 stars here at 115 because President Trump speaking we know is a red folder event. It's like Jerome Powell speaking. Nobody's going to put Jerome Powell speaking and put an orange folder next to that. Nobody, because we already know that these are leaders, and when they speak, they're going to move the market no matter what they say. And we're in the midst of potential government shutdown. If Trump's going to take the microphone, even if he does talk about whether Tylenol is the problem with autism, well, I'm not sure why he felt like he needed to talk about that at that moment, but talk about it, period, to be honest. Anyway, it's a red folder. At 115, keep that in mind. Put that in your notes. Is 115 President Trump will be speaking, okay? Okay, that's our current prices. Nope, that's not current because that's not SPX 500. I'm gonna go back to the 500, but I'm gonna switch over to see what Adam had to say. 66.76 is where SPX currently is. All right, let me go see what Adam had to say about what we got going on right now. I need to hit the earnings. There's not a lot happening in the earnings space this morning. Good morning, Ward. That's like 2 U.S. presidents. Yeah, we don't need but one. Don't need but one head. So Adam says, smooth start to the week. My target Friday was 66.46 to 66.52, and SPX hit it 3 times. I posted at Friday's close, hold your runners for the breakout. After 6 p.m. yesterday, we got the breakout. Target was 66.67 plus, and it was hit. Plan today, little to do until a retrace. 66.74 and 66.65 are supports. We're in that area now. In that we're at the 60s, we're at 77 right now. So we're in the area that he's speaking of. Supports to set up 66.82, 87 to 92. You dip if you get below 65 and you go down to 652. If we get below 66.65, you will dip down to 652. The gap between ES and SPX. Oh, bless me. The gap between ES and SPX is 53 points. So if you're watching Adam's tweets or his X's, what do you call X's now? Do you call them tweets still? I gotta sneeze again. Do you call them X's now that we changed it from Twitter to X? What did they call them? Y'all help me with this because I was having this real conversation. Thank you, Tanya. Like if we went from Twitter having tweets and we went to X's, X is the name of the platform. Are the posts called X's? What are they called? I'm still calling them tweets because what are they called? X's? And that sounds lame. Anyway, the gap between ES and SPX is 53 points. If you're following Adam on Twitter or on X and his posts on X, you need to, your son said tweets. I'm still with your son. Yes. You subtract 53 points from the numbers that he posts, okay? If you're trading XSP, the range on XSP is from 665 to 670. Somewhere in there should be your range for the day, okay? From 665 to 670 is the range. All righty? There we go with that. Okay, there's that. Let me see. I did not mention. I think the only thing we really had, I want to go back to it real quick. Go back to the earnings really fast because I want to just make sure we hit the ones. This morning was Carnival Cruise Lines. Salud, we don't call it nothing because we're not supposed to be on there. Okay, Adam on there. We on there because we looking at what Adam got to say. We might not be on there for other stuff. Carnival Cruise Lines is this morning. Earnings this morning. This afternoon, Progress, Jeffries, Vail Resorts, and Inventiva. Tomorrow, Lamb West and Paychecks and Unfee or Unfee in the morning. And then Nike is tomorrow afternoon. Nobody really has big earnings this week besides, I would say Carnival, and I don't know if I call them big earnings. Carnival and Nike, if you're really, those are the names that I like recognize. Everybody else is kind of quiet. I mean, quiet as far as not really well known. And then, of course, the earnings season will pick up again in a week or a couple weeks with the banks. They'll start over for the. I did used to trade Carnival, sure did. Because Carnival Cruise Line was a inexpensive. We would do them on our little bitty, our little small spreads, our 1 spreads and 50-cent spreads. Yep, we sure did used to trade Carnival. We've come a long way, baby. And here we are in SPX every day. We used to trade Carnival 50-cent spreads. It would be like, glad to have our $8 in profits in premiums. Would be so excited about our 10%. Ooh, $8. We was be now we own SPX pulling in $80 at a pop. My, how times have changed. My, how times have changed. Okay, so last week we traded. Come on, there we go. Last week we traded our list here. So we didn't trade everything on this list. We traded a few things. I had Amazon off this list. I had Google off this list. My Google was completely profitable because I exited early. My Amazon did get breached because I did not exit. I left it all the way till Friday and took a max loss on my Amazon. And I had Microsoft, which was profitable last week. I also had IWM last week. So that was what I had for last week. But 8 out of 12 profitable trades, 75% profitability last week. Woo woo, we'll take it, we'll take it, we'll take it. I let Peakbot trade mine generally, but even though Peakbot enters them for me, I do also, in addition to them setting the close orders, I set my own close orders as well. Peakbot does not set stop loss orders though. So if it's going left, Peakbot does not close them from that. They close the profits. They close it for a profit. They don't close it for a loss. So you have to set your own stop loss, which for me, I'm setting it where if my short leg is breached, I will close those credit spreads on the weeklies. That's my plan. That's my plan, Stan, and I'm planning on sticking to it. Okay. This is this week's list. This week's list, I sent it on all my social media platforms. So if you follow me in social media, if you are on my email list, you should have received this list as well. It's a pretty good little list, pretty extensive list this week. Apple, Adobe, AMD, ARM, Amazon, Baba. I'm going to go look at Baba because Baba, I traded Baba a few weeks ago and it paid really nice. Baba had really good premiums. Delta Airlines, Google is on here. NVIDIA, that's Janae's baby. Upstart is here, and Walmart's. That's not how you say Walmart, by the way. There's only one Walmart. Don't put an S on there. It's not Walmart's. Okay. On the call credit spread list, Amazon, Adobe, ARM, Disney, UPS, that's Lisa's baby. Upstart and XSP, that's our joint baby. We all trade XSP, and it's on for the weekly. So October 3rd is the expiration for all of these. October 3rd is the expiration for all these. Netflix was discussed last night. Trading Netflix as weeklies. I had to go back and look at it because last night on the call, I was looking out a few weeks. And if you look out a few weeks, it did pay really good premiums. If you looked out for just this week, it paid about a 20%. It was for a 5 spread, you collected about $100. So that's about a 20% return. One of the things that I struggle with sometimes with working with the weeklies is if I'm going to use $500 of collateral, let's use the Netflix example. If I'm going to use $500 or $400 of collateral for Netflix for the week, in my mind, I'm thinking I could use that same $500 of collateral to do a daily SPX and rinse and repeat that money every day. So I wrestle a little bit with, do I want to use this collateral for a daily trade, SPX over, because I can do it every day. I can use that same $500 multiple days and pull in $80 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And by the time I'm finished, I've made $400 off of that money. Or do I want to relinquish, or do I want to let the collateral go for the week and make the $80? Now, this is true. The difference between these two is this. If I trade it on a daily basis, That means I've got to identify it. I've got to identify strikes for 0 DTE. I've got to be available to watch it 0 DTE. I've got to manage that trade every day 0 DTE. And if it goes south that day, I put the money on the line for the day, and I've got to be actively managing that trade every day. Okay. If I do something for the week, I don't have to actively manage that trade every day. I can just let that trade run for the week. It's going to be a lot less stress on me, a lot less heartache on me, and it's just going to be a little bit less to worry about, okay? And think about. I won't say worry about, just a less to think about. So that's the difference. So one of them is a little more passive. One's more active. The SPX is a lot more active. The in Netflix is a lot more passive. So that's the trade-off there. And everybody is different. You're gonna, what kind of trader are you? Are you a very active trader and you want to do 0 DTEs or 1 DTE? Or are you more of a passive trader and really don't have the time during the day to manage a trade, an SPX every day? And both of them, the answer is both of these are fine, because you really, depending on your resources, you can do both. It ain't like you got to do one or the other. You can really do both. You can, put 500 or 1,000 or whatever on the Netflix and trade some on the SPX. You can do both. You don't have to do one or the other. Do both, right? Depending on what kind of trader you are and where you're at with that, you can do them both. All righty. That's the list for the week. If you like some of those things, go ahead and enter. Okay, I'm going to go off this now. I'll be back to this though, because E2T University is running. And tonight we're going to start charting training tonight. Tonight. We're starting charting training tonight. I'm excited about it because, I'm excited. The price just popped all up. Where you going? 66.80 is where it is right now. It's just popping and moving. All right. We're starting charting training tonight, getting into charting technical analysis, and I'm excited about introducing that to the people. Introducing and confirming some things, because some people already know some charting, but I know that even if you know charting, there will be something said tonight the next night, with the multiple nights, that will still add some value to your charting technical analysis. All right, so here we are. This is SPY we're looking at. SPY closed on Friday around 661.77, right in that area, 76, somewhere very close to that is where it closed on Friday. It is currently at 665.46. Bit of a gap up opening is potential. We're about 40 minutes, 35 minutes away from the open. So it's up about $4. It's up about $4 at a nice gap up open in the pre-market this morning. That's SPY, right? It's currently at 665.45. That's where SPY is. Gap up opening. Triple Q is probably going to have something similar going on. Anybody have any clue what caused this gap up in the morning? Any ideas on what caused this gap up on Monday morning? Any ideas? Good morning, Pastor Will. How you doing? Any ideas on what caused this gap up? Triple Q closed on Friday at 596. It's currently at 600 and some change. Something happened to cause this big jump in the gap. The gap, whoop, I'm going up. I'm going up. Hey, I'm going up. Y'all know I will make everything into a song. Y'all already know this, right? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay, let's look at IWM. IWM also had a gap up this morning. Let me take a quick look. See what we're working with this morning. Now, generally, these gaps, it can have a gap and go. It can definitely do a gap and go. But sometimes you have a gap and fade, because the market doesn't like to leave, holes vacuums behind. IWM closed on Friday at 241.34 or in that general vicinity, and it's currently at 243, 242.99, or right at 243 is where it is right now. Nobody has any speculations on what makes them all gap up this morning. You should make an album. I've been told that before. I actually can sing. I act silly, but I actually can sing. People at church are like, you should really go and join the worship team. I was like, no. First of all, they got 4 services running. They do a service on Thursday night. They do 3 services on Sunday. Of course, they got rehearsals and such. I remember those days. I used to sing with the worship team. I know what that entails. And that's a level of commitment that me and the Lord are not at right now, because I don't think that's where he wants me to serve at this point. I will serve where I'm required. I am an obedient servant, but I don't think that's where the Lord wants me to serve right now. In this season, I have served there in a previous season. But God was like, oh no, let's go talk to the worship leader and see if, oh no, not, I'm not even interested. I'm fine with ushering right back here, right this way. I'm fine with doing this right here, right this way. I'm fine with this right here. Smiling at the people, saying, sit right here. I can walk up and down the aisles and sing as I'm putting people in their seats. This is my calling in this particular season. I'm going to do this right here. Yep. I remember the days. Come to service super early. Stay after service super late. I remember all the days. And it's not that I can't do it. I could. If the Lord called me back to it, I would go willingly, but I don't believe that's where he's called me right now. EA Sports and the AI surge. That's what you believe? That's what has caused this gap up? Okay. Hey, Lisa. All right. So this is IWM this morning. I definitely got off track with that. 241 is where it closed on Friday, and it is currently at 242.92. Those are the equities this morning. SPX 500 is still currently 66.79.80, right at 66.80. It might look like it's trying to push up back to the 6,700 one more time. We'll see. It SPX has not gone past 6,700 at this point. And maybe it'll try again. Yep, maybe it'll try again. Janae said, I'm a former usher right here. Yeah, I never ushered before. And my husband would usher and I would sing. I was a singer. He was the usher. That's how we did it for a long time. And then when I stopped serving as a singer, we just participate. He still ushered and I just would, be in the seats because I was in school. So I just couldn't serve because I was in, getting my master's degree. And more churches need to have investments. Yeah, I had a cousin who asked me when we first moved here, he was like, well, where are you serving at in church? I was like, I'm serving on the giving committee. And he started laughing. I was like, what are you talking about? What? Churches need people who give. I am a significant financial contributor. That's what I do. That's what I was doing at church before I started ushering. I was like, I'm part of the giving committee. That's what I do. I've been called to give. That's what I was doing. Then I started ushering after that. I was like, but no, that's what you need people who go give. Somebody's got to support the financials of the ministry. And that's what the Lord had called me to do, was to be a giver. So that's what I do. I'm going to support the work of the ministry financially. That's what I will do. I don't have any problems doing what the Lord called me to do in that area, and people need it, especially if this is the other thing. Now, I'm not one who pocket check the church. I really don't. But I would like to be able, I'm going to say, in addition, I do like being able to see where the money that is being input, not just my money, but where the money is being spent. I do like to be able to see that money is being spent. I do like to be able to see places where resources are going. Okay, I'm not pocket watching the church, because I believe the Lord told us to let it go. He'll manage what they do with it. And if they misuse it, he'll manage that too. So I'm not pocket watching the church. But I do like being able to see that where there is money being spent. I do like being able to see that, you know, because I want to know where there is some, right? Consider the Trinity Church of Wall Street and their endowment. Okay, gotcha. Okay, E2T University is up and running. We are, again, we're starting the charting technical analysis this evening. If you have not signed up for E2T University and you still want to join us, you definitely can. Still sign up and still get going with us this evening. The link, I think it's running along the bottom. You can still enroll with E2T University and sign up and be going along with us. Last week I did 2198 with my credit spreads and SPX last week, another profitable week, and I have a video. We got a video of that. You know, I needed to put this. We got a video of that from last week. Yes, go and watch the video. Go and check out the video from last. I basically did a trade recap of all the trades I took. Not all the trades, but I did a pretty good overview of the SPX and stuff trades I took on each day. What kind of things were the leader, what things were guiding me in my trade choices and that kind of thing. I also in this video talked about what indicators that I use. I talked about the indicators that I look at when I'm looking each day. So go and check out the video. Go check the video out. Okay. It's on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching me on YouTube, you can just go on over to the YouTube channel. If not, I just put the link into the comments so you can see exactly. Go check out that video. Now we're up to about 6,300 for the month. Now y'all already know that August was Augustin, and it was not a good Augustin for me and our community. We were all on the struggle bus in August, but we're doing much better here in September. Doing much better here in September. All right. So go check out that video, 2198 this week in credit spreads. We trade credit spreads. We trade SPX and XSP in the membership. If you want to join us over there, we do our charting and training on Sunday. We have I do some weekly. I still give other stock weeklies, even though that's not our focus in our membership anymore. We do trade alerts. We don't do I got to take that off. First Saturday coaching calls, we don't do those anymore because I train every Sunday. So we don't do the coaching calls on Saturdays. Everybody gets a free one-on-one session per quarter if they want to use those. And we have a private Telegram group and we do Zoom calls. And we live trade together on Fridays usually. We didn't this past Friday, but usually we trade together on Fridays. Kind of whole little separate group for us to be in together and really trade and support one another. You can join us over in the membership if you'd like to do that. Maybe you don't need E2T University, but you want somebody to trade with and pull in daily profits with some 0 DTE, 1 DTE, 5 DTE trading of SPX and XSP. You can come join us over there if you want that. All right. I believe I've covered everything I want to cover there. E2T Traders Declaration. I declare I'm a great trader, a successful trader. Let me get this right so I can see everything. I declare my wins exceed my losses. Oh, I'm a focused trader too. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My account is growing steadily. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I have a strategy that I use for my trades. I don't randomly place trades. I'm a level-headed trader who trades my plan and not my emotions. This is the declaration you should say for yourself while you're trading or something similar. Speak life over yourself and over your trades. Trading it can be hard on the nervous system because when you push the button, you are relinquishing and releasing your collateral into this huge thing called the stock market. And you hope and pray that it returns proceeds to you and that you get to keep the proceeds that you receive, right? So you want to declare life and you want to speak life over yourself. So get yourself a declaration. Here is one that we use every morning. If you like this one, use it. If you want to make some alteration to it for yourself, then do that. You might want to shorten it to just, I'm a good trader and my money is coming back. Money comes to me swiftly. Whatever you want to say something. Speak life over yourself. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. All right. Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get well. Deuteronomy 8:18. Help us today to trade our strategy with wisdom and knowledge. Allow us to prosper enough to have what we need and enough to bless others. In Jesus' name, amen. 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 All right. This is what we do. This is what we do each day. We're trading. We're managing ourselves. We're trying to manage our emotions. Right? We're following a strategy. We've written our trading plans. We are doing what needs to be done to grow our resources so we can have enough for ourselves and enough to bless others. All righty. All righty. So we're going to do 2 things today. Maybe 3. We're going to stay green. We're going to get this money and we're going to have a great green day. Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you in the market.